All right, come on, go ahead, Street.
All right.
What up, though? Episode 8, we back.
Yep.
Touch the streets. Chilling with Leash today. Leash, you alright?
Hey, Day.
I'm trying to
You
be.
sure, man?
Yeah, I'm good. You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You should
All
come.
right.
You know what?
Don't start with me,
No, I'm
Street.
saying,
Here the
listen to
fuck
what I'm
you go.
saying. I'm a,
Oh, what? Nah, I need a
I'm gonna
massage.
send you up here to get a
Okay,
massage
you
from my
better.
sister,
All
man.
right, I'll be
For
waiting.
real.
A woman loves a
You
massage.
might need some good relaxing, man.
You
Yeah.
think so?
You
Facts.
might,
Why?
yeah.
Why do you
She'll get
think
you
that?
together. As a matter of fact, she
Okay.
might have a dude get you together.
All right.
You know,
All right.
give you some of that.
Y'all gotta come too. Not when I come though.
I done been up
But
here
you.
plenty of
Oh, you
times. I done
have?
helped out before.
Oh,
For
okay.
real?
It's beautiful in here.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's
It's
smooth.
really nice and it's warming and
And
welcoming.
it's
I
quiet.
love the colors,
It's quiet.
the
And when she
scheme of
doing
it
your
all.
massage, she got the music playing. It be so
See?
funny, let me tell you. She be so mad at me. Cause I might call her while she giving a massage and it don't say my name. It spell it out across the speaker. She be so mad, man. I be like, I don't be knowing, but I know her work hours now. But 15900 West 10 Mile in Southfield, Beauty Retreat Studio.
No, look, one time I was filming and she was working on a client. And she had like the smooth music playing.
That's what she do.
Man, I was about
It's
to fall
relaxing.
asleep.
Yep. You'll fall asleep. When I got a massage, I fell
did in the
asleep.
cave. I think I went in the other room and laid down for like 2 minutes.
So
Okay.
comfortable.
Okay.
And she'll give you some champagne while you waiting. I
Yeah.
think that's after every massage. She'll give you some champagne.
Black on too.
Yeah.
Black on. So proud, man.
Big sis.
So did y'all hear about Leandria
Talk
Johnson?
about it. I heard about it. Tell me what's up so I can talk my.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all know, but she has a couple of songs that I am definitely in love with, but she's a gospel singer. And so lately she's been in the news because she's been seen like being drunk.
Oh, that's the lady
whatever.
on what she win?
Sunday's Best.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, okay,
yes,
I'm hip.
yes.
Yeah.
So I guess,
Damn.
right. So I guess the question for me is, with knowing that she's into church,
Yeah.
knowing that she's a gospel singer, but also seeing the reality of things because you're still human.
Right.
Addiction is real.
Yeah.
Addiction
Definitely.
is real.
Yeah. I'm scared of it.
You scared of it? Why?
Cause like when I was younger, my daddy was like an alcoholic. Like he drunk a lot.
Okay.
So I just see him drunk a lot when I was little. So it just did something to me. I don't like it. Like
My older brother was the
Dang.
same way.
yeah, I was like, I just be like, I didn't want to be like that. Like my daddy taught me so much, whether it was good or bad, but I always took something from it. I just didn't want that. My mama she used to drink a little bit too, not a lot. She might do like Ciroc or like Long Island. But I remember one time we went to Red Lobster, and man, she was folded. She was drinking Red Lobster. She was drinking Long Island like water. And I remember being in the back seat of the Honda just. I think my auntie had to drive home. I was so scared.
Backseat of the what?
Of the Honda with the sunroof.
Who Honda was it?
My mama.
And that's so crazy that we talking about
Backseat of a
addiction right now
Honda.
as I sit. But it's the
Right.
same thing too. Like, my mother, she was a functioning alcoholic. Like, that's what I would call it anyway. And
What you mean the function can still function and drink?
yeah,
Yeah.
like fifth of gin all day long, bumpy
Yeah.
face. Like she had a certain cabinet in the kitchen that we as kids could not touch.
Wow.
She always had parties at the house, but when she had the
Yeah.
parties at the house, we were not allowed to touch any liquor. Like not one of her friends could come over to me and say, "Elisha, go grab that bottle."
Yeah.
She'll say, "No, my daughter doesn't pick up the liquor bottle."
Yeah.
And I was raised like that.
My brother was like a scared drunk. I was scared of him like when he would drink. All of us. We were scared of him when he drunk. Like didn't even want to be around him. And he drunk coming in the house, I know it's about to be something. And at this time we used to have house phones. Man, he'd come up there just to make me get off the phone, just to take the room and go on the phone with him and go to sleep drunk. And I'd be scared to go in there and get the phone, knowing this nigga ain't about to wake up no time soon. He wake
Right.
up the next morning. But addiction can be overcame because you went from a person you hate to see coming to love to see leave. I mean,
Yeah.
you hate to see coming and hate to see leaving. You know what I mean? So he
Love
did.
to see coming and hate to see
Yeah, you love to see him come and hate. Yeah, appreciate you. So he did a complete 360 with his drinking. He stopped drinking
And that was my
and
dad.
got on his shit and was like, got on it. So
Yeah.
it's a
Yep.
addiction. Addiction
And
is something.
I think I stopped him from drinking. Well, I might have been one of the reasons, because I used to tell him, like, I don't like you drinking. Like,
Drinking
you
like
drunk.
that.
Like, you sitting up here, eyes closed, eating a hot dog. Like, why you doing that? And then one day he just stopped.
And that was the same thing with my mother. Like one day I was, watching my mom, like she would be drunk, but it was never like a drunk where it was like scary drunk. She was always kind of like happy and entertaining,
Yeah.
but you knew, she,
Yeah, she
had
been
some
drinking.
liquor.
Mm-hmm.
But then you went from that to one day her walking into her childhood church and getting baptized. So it's like, I think that you can be delivered from any addiction. It's just kind of like how bad do you want it?
And addiction can be anything. It can be
It
Yeah.
food.
definitely.
Like
Gambling.
like me, I could eat one time a day and I'm good. But that's because, like, I try not, I fast every day for 17 hours. So my body's just used to just eating one time a day. But you got some people that got to eat 3, 4 times a day, that got a snack, that got to have a juice in the pop in the refrigerator.
And you know
And
what though? I
and
really
they
think
need
it's
it.
just kind of like what demons do you have in you? Like, it's like what demons are you facing? Because I think that
Sugar.
sometimes, right, but something leads to that. Like mentally, something is going on in your head, whether you sad about something, and a coping mechanism
Yeah.
is the food.
So it might be
The coping
food.
mechanism is
Yeah.
the liquor.
Drinking. Yeah.
So it's like, what are you going through where you feel like in order for you to check out and be into a happier spirit, that you need to drink, you need to eat excessively, that's gluttony. And then whatever else it is,
Yeah.
sex can
Sex
also be,
addiction.
Yeah.
right, sex.
Yeah.
There's also, it's so many different addictions out here, but I think that the point is that even with dealing with Leandria and her and seeing it like in the public and things like that, that there is light at the
Yeah.
end of it all.
Yeah.
Like there is light. And one thing you can really move with it, with knowing, is that you can be healed.
Yeah.
You know?
And some people need help. Like some people need for somebody else to come and
For sure.
weigh in on them and give them their
For
opinion
sure.
or lean their
And not
shoulder
to be
in.
judgmental, because, not
That's
everybody.
the thing about it.
That is the thing
Judging.
about it. Because you know
You
what?
don't
I
want
did
people to
used to find
judge.
myself. It's funny because I have a cup in my hand right now, and I could talk about my mother being a functioning alcoholic. But at the same time, it's like, again, here I am with that cup.
Right.
So it's like you want to break generational curses as far as what you looked at as your parents. Like I poured you a drink today and you still on the same cup. Mind you, I'm on my second one,
Yeah, me too. I'm cool. I don't want no more.
You don't want any more?
No, I'm done. See, I'm
Man,
not no
y'all
drinker.
boring.
I could but I got to balance mine
You
out.
see
I
me?
like to
You
smoke
see
and
I'm saying
drink.
you
Yeah.
boring? You see how I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because that's that life in me. That's Carolyn in me. You ready for a party.
Yeah.
You always ready for a
Yeah,
party when you feeling it.
you definitely sitting in between two people who don't really care about drinking.
Huh.
Cause I ain't gotta.
But then, like, that's what's crazy. Like, if I do have like a cup in my hand, and it could be juice, but it could be a party though. Like it might be a party at the house, and Santana come and be like, "Man, what's in your cup? Like, you better not have no
Your
liquor in your
son?
cup." Yeah.
Really?
And I'm like, "It's juice." He be like, "Let me smell it." And I be like,
Hey,
but I think that, like, I think that's a little bit of me in him, a little bit of my DNA in him from my childhood.
Mm.
You get what it might
Yeah.
it might sound weird, but somehow he not with it. Like he don't or smoking either. You know what I'm saying? It's like me all over again.
yeah, like you really got me doing something like outside my norm. You, cause
I
I don't
am?
really, I don't drink liquor.
It's a party.
No, I like champagne.
We want to have fun.
But see, I'm not back back when we was in the club going out all the time. Yeah, I used to drink a little bit, like drink some champagne.
You know you're not that old, right?
But I'm just saying, like I'm talking
Back
about.
when you was
I'm
in the
talking
club
about-
all the time.
No,
Like
I'm
what?
talking about like when Street don't know what I'm talking
Yeah, we
about.
was in the club.
When and even though it was like champagne and stuff floating around, I gotta have a bottle in my hand. But I would never drink the whole bottle. I was always giving it to somebody. But I was more so I wanted to be on point
Yeah.
because everybody else was partying, and I'm like, well, I need to make sure that
And we
everybody
never,
over there is
Right.
cool.
and we didn't have that. We ain't, dang, that's crazy. You said that because I never even thought of that. Like it's somebody who gotta be
Yeah,
watching because
I
all
was
of
I
us
was
gonna be
always
drinking.
cause everybody party, and I got a natural high. Like I just like I don't have to have a conversation with you, but I like being around people. But I don't have to talk to you. I could be in the other room. I could be upstairs. But if it's people that I love around me, I just got a natural high.
Okay.
Like I could walk in the kitchen. You know, like y'all might be at the house. I might just say, hey, I might not say nothing to y'all.
You sometimes you
But
don't.
I be glad that y'all are there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then I just go back into my little cocoon. But and
You do.
I'm just on cloud nine.
Sometimes we
You know
gotta
what I'm saying?
whisper to your wife, is he all right?
Yeah, I just got a natural high. But
Okay.
sometimes I don't have to say nothing to you. I'm just glad you there.
Yeah.
So like I just got a natural high. Like I don't have to
So
like
I
drink
really
to
think
like
the
get me
point
to have
is,
fun.
it's just to kind of like, no matter what people are going through, depending on whatever the addiction is, to show them a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
Because it's like you never know what people are going through or what led them to even get that addiction,
So is that
you know?
lady? Is she still going through it? Like,
Well,
Well,
it
that's kind
like
of
seems
she don't
good.
got
like,
help or nothing? Like she ain't.
of course, I'm sure she probably has help. So from what I saw, is that she had a moment,
Yeah.
and then from that moment, she's talked about it since then.
Yeah.
But within the comments of what people were talking about, they didn't want to show her a little grace because she's so, influential into the church,
See, man,
and
that's why, man. But I ain't trying to pick. I ain't. But
but how's
man,
your spirituality
but
though?
y'all. Sometimes, man, them Christian folks, boy, they know they could be judgmental, boy. Like you got to be so perfect,
So perfect.
and like, man, I can't make a mistake. But as soon as you make a mistake, they judge you to the end.
And
But I thought,
that's not all of
but I
them.
thought you're not supposed to judge.
That's true, but
Especially
that's not
bringing the
all of
church
them.
home.
That's what I'm saying. Like you in the church and you just the judge and like call her, baby girl, you good? Like come to the
For sure.
congregation. Come holler at
Right.
us. Let us put our hands on you.
You
It's
need me
just
to
like,
come to
oh my
you?
God, look at her.
Right.
She woo woo. Like that ain't right.
She should be one of
No,
the
it's
main
not.
people they should be reaching out to just because of
And we can't say
things
that
she
they
been
haven't, so
through.
we don't know. But I will say that, from looking at the comments and what people had to say, they were definitely like talking about her and
That's what
not
I'm saying.
trying
Like,
to, pray for her. So it's like, so do you think that like there's a heaven and hell?
when you growing up, you're not supposed to believe in hell or
You not?
whatever. But you know it's one. But everybody feel like they're going to heaven.
Everybody.
Everybody feel like they're going to heaven. I don't think everybody going to heaven.
What is heaven to you? What's heaven to you, Street?
I hope it's
Oh
peaceful.
yeah. I
I
hope it's
hope it's
peace. I hope I get to see my loved ones.
yeah.
I hope everything that I read about. I hope it's all of that plus some. Like there's angels up there flying around. My man, that's all cool and fine and dandy. But if it's really a heaven, boy, I pray it is because I cannot wait to see my loved ones and friends and everything. But
Especially like my granddaddy. I watched my granddaddy die.
Did you?
He died in front of me, laying at the house at my mama's
bro, I
house.
was on the phone with Terry when Terry got killed. I clicked
Dang.
over. We was on the phone. So when I clicked over, he hung up and like, so I know what you mean by that. Like for us, like take their last breath or
Man,
during that moment.
I about to take his last. And my mama was going to a Christmas party, so my granddaddy's birthday was like a couple days after. His birthday was like a day before Christmas or like 2 days before Christmas. I'm telling my mama like, don't go to this party. I got this feeling, man. I get gut feelings, though. I don't want to get too deep, but I get feelings, and they don't never be wrong. Especially like when it's like about death. You get what I'm saying?
hmm
And man, I'm begging my mama. I'm like 8 years old, 7. I'm begging my mom, please don't go to this Christmas party. It's like I'm gonna come right back. I'm gonna be gone for an hour. I'm like, man, don't go. So she leave. Going there with my granddaddy. He just acting a little off. You know what I'm saying? And something start popping like in his throat, like a popping noise. I
You
don't
heard
know.
it?
I could hear it. I'm like, you good? He ain't really saying nothing. So I called my grandma like, man, I think my granddaddy dying. I don't know.
It was just you and him there?
It was just me and him.
How old was you?
I'd be like 8,
Oh
7,
yeah,
8.
you ain't know what was
So what
going
happened?
on.
So she like called 911. Cause I called my grandma first. I ain't called 911. I called her like, I think my granddaddy dying. And dog, probably like 5 minutes later, he was gone. So I had to call.
You was there with his body.
I was there. Like I
Wow.
was sitting there looking at him, and he was dead. Like I was just looking at him. Like
So
I'm
you watch
shaking
his
him.
soul
I'm
leave.
shaking him. I'm moving him. He not doing nothing. He just I close his eyes. I don't even know
You
why.
touched him?
Yeah, I closed his eyes because I was scared because he was just looking up. I just was like, close his eyes. And then the ambulance, I forget his name, but I forget his name, but he's working with the ambulance then. He came and I was just sitting on the porch. I was sitting on the porch just sitting on the porch like Boys in the Hood. Remember in the Boys in the Hood? I was just sitting on the porch. And then my grandma pulled up and, they took him out. Then my mama came. I was so mad at my mama.
Cause she went to
Because
the
she went to
party.
the
Because she
party.
went to the party. So I didn't say nothing to her. I just looked at her like,
So with your experiences, do you think that there is an afterlife?
I think it is.
So it's like for me, I think that everything kind of has its cycle. I believe that there's a up, there's a down, there's a good, there's a bad. There's a open, there's a close. So, whether you go up or down, I don't really know what hell looks like. I don't believe that hell is a bunch of fire and you just burn
Yeah, I don't
and
think that.
different things like that.
I think. Yeah, go ahead. I'm
I
listening.
believe that, sometimes you can probably just repeat the same thing over and over again. Like, depending on what your belief is, or what your spirituality is, or what your religion is, it's kind of like, I guess that's on you to believe what your hell looks like.
I always thought like this is why like heaven. People go to heaven and it's so beautiful. People that they said I never believed in the burning hell. I always looked at it like hell. When you die, you die. You ain't got a chance to go to heaven, and you gonna let. That's what they talk about the judgment stuff and all that. So when you die, you just dead. You ain't getting a chance to vision if this heaven is really beautiful. But the people that die and go to heaven, that's just always thought like good people, bad people,
Yeah.
like killers and all that kind of stuff. But I always was worried. But like that's why I like really had to repent, cause like man, I can go to hell, man, for doing what I did, you know. But my faith in God and you know what I'm saying? God know my heart, and I'm able to you know what I'm saying, having this, the 8th episode of this podcast right now to this day.
So
You
do
know what
y'all
I'm
want to
saying?
be cremated or buried?
I told my kids to cremate
I
me.
want to be cremated. My daddy was cremated, but he wanted to be cremated. And he was like, don't put me in the earth with the worms and all that. Like, cremate me.
See, I want to be cremated, but I always felt like I wanted to live in a different country. So take me somewhere where I've never been and spread my ashes. Like, I don't want to be buried, no. And I do believe that, like, my body is just a vessel for my soul. My soul is going to go up. Now the level in which it goes up, because I think that there are levels to where you go, like whether you come back and you repeat, your earthly things again, or you become like you transition into being an angel and just watching over your loved ones, or you wait. Some people wait. Like, I've read certain things where people have said, or people have tapped into the afterlife, because I do think that
You
some
believe it's
people
an
are
afterlife?
gifted. Yeah.
For
I
real.
think that some people are gifted in enough to say what it's like on the other side. I'm not going to say that I believe or worship these things,
Yeah.
but I do think that they exist, where people can definitely tap into different things that have an outer body experience.
Yeah.
And with having an outer body experience, have listened to those that say that they've seen heaven or that
Right.
they've seen hell.
Right.
Not to say that I believe it or worship it,
Right.
but I do think that it exists.
Yeah.
And with it existing, I pray that I don't come back to earth. I
Yeah.
Right.
don't want to repeat this
Yeah,
cycle
I
of
don't want to
things.
repeat as no
I don't.
animal, no other human
No, I
being,
don't. I
none of
want
that.
to. I really want to graduate from being within the earthly things.
Uh-huh.
And I really hope that, within my walk in life right now, and that I walk in God's favor.
Cause
You
I
know?
think it's demon. I think it's like bad people on this earth.
For
I
sure.
think those
Yeah.
are like,
Just with your experience, like going to pick your baby up from school and the lady running
yeah.
into y'all, and
Yeah.
she kept running. Like I've never, thank the Lord. And you know what?
Yeah,
It's like
that's
certain people talk about social media, but certain things need to be shown. Like, yeah, okay, social media as far as using it in a negative light, but when you use it in a positive light to show what's really going on out here, that really makes a difference. Because I hadn't seen a lady react like that going to pick your
she
kids
was
up.
tripping.
That was
Like,
crazy. But not only did she hit your car, she bagged up and
she
hit
hit
it
it like 2
again,
more times.
knowing that children were in the car. Like
That
to
was so
me,
funny.
that's
Like,
demonic. That is a
snatch your
demonic
ass out the
spirit.
car.
Yeah, I
I'm
ain't been
glad you
on.
have to put your hands on
I
him,
was gonna put
man.
my
But
He
hands
saw
I'm
on
your
just
her.
saying,
video?
like, yeah, and I saw the video, but it's just the thing, like, there are demons that walk with us. They do embody a human form.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to get off into my tangents because I know that I can, but, they do exist.
I'm gonna say one thing. She was talking about spiritual stuff. I remember I was doing this shoot in LA, and I had this girl I was working with. She was like into witchcraft, but she crossed over, and we was kicking it, and she was telling me like, you a prophet. Like she knew everything about me. I didn't know it
Oh, yeah, I
from
remember you were telling me
I didn't
about
know it from
that.
a can of paint. She was like, I had a purpose on this earth to fulfill. And she touched me, she hugged me, but she had said she used to be into bad things, but she crossed over. But she knew everything about me. It like gave me chills. And I'm like, damn, like,
Yeah,
you
it's like,
know,
I do think that those certain type of people exist. Like, do
Mm-hmm.
y'all remember Dionne Warwick?
yeah.
And remember the the hotline?
Hmm.
Not necessarily taking it that far with the
Yeah,
psychic hotline and different things like that. But some people are in tune
yeah,
and they are in touch with their outer body experiences
yeah.
and just having feelings for other people. As soon as, like, you could be a stranger, like I've
Hmm.
had a stranger walk up to me and tell me, this is your year.
Yeah.
You're no longer going to be in the background. And it's like,
You don't even
what?
know this
You
person.
don't even, I don't know this person at all.
Like, yeah, like what, yeah, like some in them made them come up to you
Yeah,
and say that.
and say that. So it's just like, I do think that some people walk with a divine spirit with them.
Cause oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, and then with them walking in that, it's just like, I listen to everyone. So it's just kind of like, I do think that there is a heaven and hell, but it's just really kind of your experiences and
Yeah.
what
But you believe for
and
real.
what you
Because I think,
believe.
like, you know how people be like, why God? You question God about different things. But a lot of the time, the devil be just as busy as God.
For sure. For sure.
You
Like,
ain't
you
never
know,
lying.
yeah, so.
The devil is definitely busy.
Yeah, you
The
ain't never
devil is
lying.
easier to get into your spirit,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The devil is easier because it
yeah.
seems like that is something that you want. It's something that entices you. It's something that you feel like you need. It's something that gives you a good feeling, but not all the time it's best for you.
I feel like the devil is in more places. I feel like it's more bad in more places than
Definitely.
good.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Okay.
When the Reverend was really like preaching,
Uh-huh.
and dude came out of nowhere and tried to shoot him.
Oh, right.
Like, how was that happening in the house of God? Like, that was the devil's work. That's just how I looked at it.
Yeah.
It's like, so even though I'm not a religious person, I'm more spiritual,
Hmm.
but
What kind of spiritual are you?
meaning that I believe in there is a higher being. So because I know that man wrote the Bible, man took certain things out of the Bible, I don't necessarily believe everything that man teaches me
Mm-hmm.
or has told me, you
Hmm.
know. So with me knowing that, I don't necessarily just say that I am a Christian or whatever religious beliefs people have.
Right.
But I do know that there is a higher power. I do know that there is something higher than me.
That's
And I do
crazy.
appreciate that.
Everything you just said was the same conversation. And y'all do you know about Moldavite?
Yes.
Look, she got me one of these, and
I have
she
a certain crystal with the chakras right here as well.
man, so
Yeah.
she got the bracelet. It's crazy that you just said that because everything that you just said, that's what she said. Like Christian, and I believe in everything, but I'm not that. But am I
Yeah.
saying it right?
Yeah,
Like
for
I'm not
sure.
that, but I still believe in
You
a
believe
higher
in
being.
everything, but you're
So I
not
got
saying you're
to
Christian or that.
right.
You
So
Right.
I'm
just
asking questions. I'm like God, Allah, Buddha, and all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and she really like broke it down to me. Like nah, I always knew that God is God, but
right.
everybody just
And
call a
that's not
God a
even his
different
real
God.
name. Exactly.
It's like
Like when you do your research and you
yeah, but
really
she got me
like,
on the she got me on it. Like
yeah,
I
for
be
sure.
so it's a different spiritual side that I don't mind, especially if you're dealing with somebody like that. Why not learn more about it? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So
So
everything that you just said, dang, I could call her, y'all could talk on the phone because y'all like, damn, that's
So it's
crazy.
like, even though I am more spiritual than religious, I still would raise my kids in church because I think that everyone needs a foundation. Like, do kids nowadays know about God? Do they know about praying? Do
Yeah.
they know about waking up
Yeah.
and getting dressed to go to church?
And me and the
And knowing
kid,
and understanding what your dress clothes are and why you get dressed to go to church?
now me and the kids, we
That's
pray.
deep.
Like we pray at night. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
dope.
Um, and I just think that was cute. You know what I'm saying? Some
Hmm.
and they tell God what they thankful for, and X, Y, and Z. But I don't really go to church like that.
No, and I don't either. But and the crazy part about it is my mother was raised in church. She didn't force us to go to church. But all of my outside mothers, like my best friend mothers, if I went over there on the weekend, you better bring your church clothes. And it got to the point that even if I didn't go over there on the weekend, y'all come to pick me up for church, right?
Yeah.
Like there was something to look forward to instead of just
Hmm.
like, you still had the game back then. You still had Nintendo. You still had Sega.
Mhm.
Atari if you
Yeah.
really old. But it's like,
Kaliko.
shut up, don't say that. But it's like, you still knew that you had a foundation.
Mhm.
It's like, to me, sometimes I look at kids and I wonder if they still have that same foundation we had.
Nope.
Do you understand who God is or what he is to you or why he's in your life?
Cause with my mama, we grew up in the church. We was at church on Monday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Saturday,
Can't forget
Friday,
about
Sunday.
Bible study,
Bible
Yeah.
study.
But
choir
then,
rehearsal.
but then, my daddy, he didn't go to church. My grandma stayed right next to a church.
Mm.
I don't even.
You want to know
She
something
probably been
honestly?
in there one time. So as I got older, I was kind of with my daddy side. So I wasn't really in the church like that.
Yeah, I used to just do that stuff just to
So
go to
that's a
like the
question though.
lock-ins,
Yup, the
Oh, I
lock-ins.
remember the
Yup, the
lock-ins.
the
lock-ins.
field trips
Yes.
and all that kind of
Yup,
stuff. I've never
Yes.
really,
yup,
I ain't never pay
What?
attention to church.
yup.
Please.
So
And
my
then
only
you had
reason
your
was
youth
going was
church.
because just so I ain't gonna lie, so I could attend the different activities because it was fun.
Yup.
But I still like
But that's
we
okay
still
though,
went to
because you
church.
still had the word in there.
Yeah, I
Like,
got
and you can
baptized. I
still
got
talk about
baptized
it to this
twice.
day. But that goes back to what you were saying. Like, it's going back to like blended families.
Yeah.
Like being in a blended family. Like, how close are you to the opposite side? Like, I stayed with my mother. My mother was my primary.
Mhm.
So like, my father, his side, I wasn't that close to
Um,
because I was always with my mother, and being on her side of the family is where, like, the Rayfords, those were it to me.
I got you.
I didn't really know the other side of my family, or my other side of, my father's side of the family is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
So like, I was close with both sides. Like
Mm.
my mama's side, I got my auntie Phil, Dana, my cousin Aaron, like all of them. But see, I had the cheat code with my daddy side because my grandma stayed 7 blocks over and 2 streets up.
Hmm.
So once I learned how to ride a bike,
Going over
I was
there.
going to my grandma's house every day.
Your grandma house on your daddy's side.
My grandma house on my daddy's side.
Okay.
My mama died before I was born,
Okay.
so I didn't know her. But my daddy mama stayed. I could walk to her house, but I would go to her house every day. I would be eating lunch over there. I mean, I would be eating breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner, because my mama was working all day.
Hmm.
So that's where I would be at. So really growing up, even though I didn't have I had the opposite name as my grandma and them.
Hmm.
I thought I was a Miller, because I was so close to the
Really?
Millers. Like I wanted to be a Miller because that's what I was growing up with. My cousins, Courtney and all of them, you know what I'm saying? My cousin Tanya and Trish and my cousin Jock. Like I was seeing these people like on a daily basis
And
because
see,
I
and
was at my grandma's house.
that was not my experience with my father's side. And I think that's so dope that you
Yeah,
could have that, so you knew your father and your mother's side. So I
yeah,
guess that's why, like, we see Santana so much
yeah,
because,
yeah.
we're
It's
not
like the
on his
same.
mother's
It's like the
side of the
same
family.
thing.
We're on your side of the
Yeah,
family, his father's side.
yeah.
And so he is so much a part of,
Mhm.
I'm going to say, our family
Yeah.
because of your interactions and how you were raised. I'm going to
Mhm.
assume.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why, like, we see so much of Santana.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It's not forced. Like sometimes you gotta try to go get your kid or wanna. It's like it's just like you just know you're gonna see him every week.
Yep.
Like the summertime, you just know you're just gonna see him every day. You get what I'm
I
saying?
wish I
Yeah.
could have had
It's
that.
like
Me
me.
too. I
Yeah,
It's
wish I
like
could have had that too
it's like
because
me all over again. You see what I'm
really,
saying?
yeah.
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 So it's like,
I
I
couldn't
didn't have
even.
that. So when, I recently talked about my father passing away, but going to, his memorial was something so different because I don't know these people. Like, I remember them, I know of them, but I don't know them. So it's like for me to mourn with them was really kind of hard for me because I'm looking at aunties
That you don't
that
really know.
it's been 30 years, my baby.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
But I will say, like after my grandma died, and then like after my daddy died, I'm not close with them no more. Like I don't. But I was so close to my grandma. My grandma would tell me everything. Like I probably know stuff I shouldn't know. Like how people feel. Probably you know what I'm saying? Cause I would be at my grandma's house late night watching Unsolved Mystery, and she mad at somebody. Now she telling me everything that they probably done said about me. I'm a kid though.
Right.
Okay.
Or everything they done said
Right.
about my mama. You see what I'm saying? But when my grandma was alive and my daddy, my grandma was alive, because my grandma's house was the hub. So everybody came to my grandma's house. But when she passed, all that just kind of went out the window. I just
I
kind
think
of,
I ain't gonna say I was sheltered, but my grandma really didn't like let me do. She ain't really care. As long as I was up under her, so I really like never really got the experience like
So is
with
this
my.
your grandmother on your mama's side or your dad's side?
I remember I told her my grandma on my mama's side was the only like grandma I ever knew
Oh,
growing up.
okay.
So I never
Okay.
like even like my brother's father. I never met my grandma. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Her, but the family. I knew I used to go around them and everything, but I didn't go around them as much
yeah.
because my grandma was like I didn't really care to. I didn't mind. So like the blended family part of that, like I didn't really care to because I wasn't brought up to be like that. Especially too, my daddy, we all stayed in the same house.
Yeah.
So it'd be like they'd come out. We wouldn't go like to family functions and all that kind of stuff. Everything was like with us. Or then I just didn't care to for
You
real
know what?
to follow.
I think that because of our experiences is why like blended families become more important. Like we've talked about a lot in these last episodes, and we talked about like as far as parenting, as far as when is it time for you to be able to introduce your kid to your mate and different things like that.
Yeah.
So it's like as far as the blended part of it, I think it's just because like that is our era where we didn't really care. Like we had the choice on what we wanted to do. Like after so long, I told my mom I wasn't going to Battle Creek no more. I wasn't going to Flint for what?
Right.
And she didn't she said okay. And so for me, there wasn't a blended family. There was just the Rayford side of it all. You
Let me
know?
ask you something
So
from
let
experience. How is it with you with just say because you be around your kids so much? How is that like with Drew and Dred with
Santana.
Santana? Yeah,
Man,
like
they love each other, but some families where they have like, oh, this my half brother, or this is my, I don't teach them that. They don't know nothing about no
Oh
halves.
really?
So it's just this my brother,
right, flat out.
these my sisters, and that's it. Like I don't teach. You know, some people do. Oh, this my brother on my daddy's
On my
side.
daddy's side, yeah.
Nah, it's none of that. Yeah, y'all, this is your brother and this is your sister.
Like, and you know what? That wasn't like taught to me.
It wasn't taught. It wasn't
But
taught. I don't think that was taught younger. Like when we were
no, it
younger, that
wasn't.
wasn't taught
But
like
I
that.
did know that like my brother was my brother. Like my brother calls my mother mom. Like he has another mother, but my
Yeah,
mother was also in his life as well.
yeah,
So he calls my mom
Like
mom.
my brother, like just say Dennis.
yeah.
We came out the, we got the same mother,
Right,
but I don't look at her like that's not my half brother.
right. That's your
That's my
brother.
brother.
Yep.
Unlike where you got the daddy, like we got the same father. I think people do that more. Like if we got the same father, that's my half brother. But if we got the same
Yeah,
mother, that's my
that's
Yeah,
brother or
yeah.
sister.
Cause so
Is
like
that a double standard?
no,
It ain't.
no.
That's just how it could be looked at, though. That's why is it looked at like that? Like this is my half brother because we got
Well,
the same
it does.
father.
It comes from kind of a rooted thing of the mother giving birth. So it's kind of like you're more attached
Yeah,
to the mother, the
they
mother's
came out the
side
same
because
mother.
it came right. So that's where that kind of comes from. But
see we had like growing up we had a bond. So like my parents and like I got an older sister and an older brother. We got the same daddy, but my daddy always pushed that we was
What a
just
drink.
brothers and sisters. So with the mama, like with
Over there.
hold on, but that street he throwing me off.
Just keep going.
I can't,
How
cause
come? Cause she handed me some drink.
so like so that's like I got an older brother and I got an older sister, right? And we got the same daddy. And when we was growing up, my daddy just taught us like this your brother, this your sister. It was never
that's
explained
dope.
like, oh this is your brother on this side. So like my sister mama, I call her mama. So I was like 14, 15. Like for the longest I thought she was my mama too. But my daddy pushed us to just be as one, like brothers and sisters. Like we still talk to this day. Like I just talked to my brother yesterday. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he was even telling me like, yeah, Marco, look at you. Like Marco, to him, you his brother. Like it kind of go beyond. Like that's my brother. But I look at Marco as my brother too.
Okay, right.
Like we kind of all just like brothers and sisters. Like we was never taught. Nobody never sat down with the blue book and was like, okay, this is your sister on your daddy's side, and then this is your younger sister on your mama's side. It was just we were just all brothers and sisters.
Dennis' father, he got one daughter, and like I said, that's not my father. But all my life, she was been, always look. I look at her as my sister.
Yeah.
She look at me as her brother.
Yeah.
Although they share the same father that I don't.
Yeah.
So we call each other. And she has a sister through her mother,
Yeah.
and even me and her, like we call each other brothers and sisters.
Yeah. My older sister got a sister, two
Okay.
sisters, and they my sisters.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah. I
That's
got
dope.
yeah. My older sister got two sisters, and growing up from the jump, they was my sister. Still to this day, they're my sisters.
So everyone, like both of y'all have dealt with grief, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you think that it's a time limit on it?
No, I
Nope.
don't.
I don't think it's a
By
time
me
limit.
going through it,
No.
and then it's I think it's different stages of grief.
So I do.
Yeah.
I think that it's a time limit on it. Like,
Oh, you think it's a time
I
limit?
do. And not necessarily like, so I give it where you have a time to throw it up. You have a time to be in your sorrows. And then you have a time where you have to get up from that. And you can't necessarily dwell in your grief all the time.
Yeah.
Like life still goes on.
Yeah.
And you have to be a part of that. Whether you have, children that look up to you, depending on what your responsibilities are, taking care of a parent, or just your day-to-day life. Even if you have none of that, like you still have to go on. So when it comes to grief, I think that yes, you're supposed to give yourself time to cry it out, to be angry, to ask questions,
Now,
to wonder.
how can you give yourself time on something like that though? Because like I don't like 20. I lost my mother over 30 years ago, and I ain't gonna say it still feel like yesterday. Like a lot of people be exaggerating that shit. Like
Yeah,
such and such died 10 years ago.
yeah,
But it feel like yesterday.
yeah.
Nah, but I still grieve my mother at certain times. So I don't really think you can't put a time on grief.
So
I think it just gets better with
Yeah, the
in
days
time.
get better.
Like
They get better,
it
bearable.
don't be as bad. Like
so when I say that there's a time limit,
I feel like somebody who might have lost their parents when they was like little, like
hmm
4 or 5 years old.
They don't know.
Yeah, like you don't know. Like you might be sad that you never had them, but I don't think you can really grieve like how I can grieve or
but
like how
see,
you
and
can
see,
grieve.
right, and so that's the thing. Like you can't tell anyone how to grieve. So I have a friend of
So if
mine
you can't tell nobody how to grieve, how can you put a time on it? Then?
because what
I
I'm
want you to
because
break
right
it down.
because what I'm expressing is you can't dwell within it. You cannot be sorry and can't get up. You can't go to sleep. You can't move. You can't go to work. You can't function. That's what I'm.
It be like that though.
Yes, it's like that, but you
I'm not
can't
saying they got to be like
succumb.
that all
You
the
can't
time.
succumb. Then that's what I'm talking about.
But you
That's
said,
why I'm saying
but
that
you
there's a
said
time limit on
I
grieving.
don't think
I
it's a
think that there's
time.
different
That's just
phases
how I
on
look at
grief.
it.
Of course, and I understand that's how
You
you
can't
look
put a
at it.
time on grief.
And I'm not putting a time on it, but what I'm saying is that you cannot dwell within it. My father just passed away. I cannot dwell within the fact that he's no longer with me as far as physical body. Like when you are spiritual, you understand that this is not it.
Maybe you got a better understanding of it than I do. That's what that is. Because you just said that when you spiritual to a certain way, maybe you got a better understanding of it than I do. Because I just don't think you could you can't what? I don't even think that really makes sense in reality. You can't put a time on somebody else's
I'm not saying that you can't be
grief.
sad or you can't think
I'm not
about your
saying that
loved
neither.
one.
No,
But what I am saying is that you cannot dwell in their death. You cannot take their death with you every single day
So you gotta move
and
on.
live with that.
So you gotta move on.
I'm not saying move on. You still they still live within. They're still within you. They're still around you, even though you can't see them. But when you talk about yourself and being spiritual, then you have to know that there's something better than earthly things. You have to know that there's something better than just being here and sitting next to me. So with me knowing that and with me understanding that, I understand that when my loved one is no longer here, my father is no longer here, he's in a better place. Now, does that take away from me missing him or wishing that he was here? Of course not.
Right.
But it does allow me to be able to move on a little bit better through life experiences, through the human experience, because I'm still here. I'm still here.
That's
He
natural.
isn't.
That's natural.
It's
But
not
I want you.
natural.
But
It's
no,
not natural.
everything you just said makes sense. But I want you to say. I want you to explain to me why do you think you could put a time on grieving when you can't? Just like some people might say that this person died that long ago and it still feel like yesterday. That person is still grieving that person, so you can't put a time on
I'm
trying to
not
grieve
saying that
over
you
a loss
can't,
of a
but what
love
I am
grieving.
saying
Period.
is that you do have to pick yourself up.
Yeah,
You have to
you
move
got to.
on.
But
So
we're
which
not
means
saying
that
that.
that grief that you carry with you, you can't just allow that to overcome and succumb what you are in your day-to-day life.
I
You
smile
can't.
every day. You couldn't even tell. You wouldn't know what I've been through unless I told you. But I still grieve every day. It's hard to find. It's hard to find. It's hard for me to. I can't put a time on grief. I can't.
I'm not saying that you should, but what I am saying is that when you understand your spirituality and you understand, whether you have spirituality or religious beliefs,
I
that
don't even think
you
a person with religious
that
beliefs
you
put a
that
time on
you
grieving.
that you put time into that. You put time into focusing on healing because you understand that that person didn't really leave. Yes, his body left. The body left, but not as far as the memory
That's the
or the
spiritual part.
spirit exactly,
That's your
or the
spiritual belief.
spirit
But
of
on the
him.
reality side of
So
that,
yeah, you
when we leave
grieve the
up out of here,
physical
I'm a
for
smile.
sure.
I'm smiling with y'all. We laughing and we doing this podcast. But when I leave out here, it's gonna be something that's gonna remind me of a loved one, and I'm still grieving that loved one. So a time limit on grief, I just don't see it happening. I done been through it, and I'm still grieving
And again, I feel like, yes, you
forever.
can still miss. Yes, you definitely still miss your loved one. You still send prayers up. You still think about them. But then you have to, love and light. You have to let that go. You have to allow your God or whoever you choose to believe in to know and to help you carry on through your day. You can't continue to carry that, because when you carry that, it weighs on you. It weighs on your thought process. It weighs on just your demeanor in life. You have to understand that that person is in a better place.
So you
And
got
when
you got a good spiritual realm about you. You got a good spiritual
and everyone
that
should.
surrounds you. I'm not into religion and spiritual beliefs like that. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna feel a little different than you. Like
Well, I hope
even
you
like
find it
even
one day.
I mean,
I do hope you find
but
it,
even if I
because you're
do,
not at peace.
even if I do find it, I'm still gonna grieve though. Lee.
You're not,
That
you're
don't,
not.
and
You're
I
not.
don't,
And that's the
man.
thing.
If you
You're not,
listen,
because guess what? You're going to be happy. You're more happy at the fact that a person has transitioned into the afterlife than being sorry that they're no longer
I'm
with
just
you in
selfish.
body.
I'm just
And
selfish.
that's exactly what it
I'm
is. But
selfish.
when you become what is it, selfless? And when you become and you understand that, the light will bring you more happiness than this dark place, because earth I can get a little deep, but earth, is a prison planet to some. You live here, you come back here, you relive things, you become reincarnated, and you have to live this life over and over again. I don't want to. I want to be I want to be with my loved ones one day, you know? And so with me understanding that and knowing that, like, yes, of course, I'm sad my father passed away. I wake up and I cry. But then guess what? I wipe them tears. I
And you
understand.
go about your day.
And it's
But I
not that I
guarantee
go
you, 15, 20 years from now, you still gonna wake up on one of them days, and I'm giving you a long time period. You still gonna wake up on
for
one of them days.
sure.
So that's what I'm
Because you're
saying.
supposed to, because
You're
that's the
gonna grieve
memory.
forever.
Exactly.
So
That's the
how can you
memory
put
of
a
them.
time on grieving?
I'm not saying that I'm not gonna say that within a month, within a year. But what I will say is you do have to pick yourself up. You
Yeah, and
do.
I have
You
done
have to
that,
pick
but
yourself
I'm
up.
still
You have to
like,
carry on. You have to remember their name. They live within you and how you walk in this life. Period. But I'm not laying in the bed every day. I can't not move or not get up and go to work or not come and show my face. I have to continue on in this life. So I
once
can't
again,
continue,
that's the
cannot
reality of
continue
it.
to
I'm not
grieve
saying you
and
don't
give
supposed to
that
do that.
emotion to you, because that takes away from what I have to deal with in this day to day life. Because, see, my loved one is gone. They're in a better place. Sometimes, you pray that they become your angel, and sometimes they go off and do their thing in the afterlife, whatever that may be, because I don't know. But what I do know is that, I can hope and pray that I see them again. I can hope and pray that when it's my time, that when it's time for me to, go to the other side, that they're there waiting on me. But I cannot dwell within that. I can't. I can't dwell with my father's passing or any loved one that I have in this point. Or when my mother passes away, or when my friends pass away. I don't want, or when I pass away,
Right.
I don't want anyone to dwell in my death. I want you to celebrate my life.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrate and understand what it took for me to get to where I am. You know?
Well, so
Light a candle for me
I'm
when you
just
think about
selfish.
me. When we, I think that this was a great episode. When we talk about addiction,
Yeah.
please understand, like, for anybody out there that's holding an addiction, and you want help, go seek it. It's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
True.
Don't wait until it's too late
Too late.
when
Right.
there's nothing that you can do about it. Go find yourself some help if that's something that you want and you need and you looking for in your life.
Get it.
And don't be ashamed either. We can be healed from something and then turn around and something turns that back to us. It could be something
Trigger.
in life. Yes, thank you. It can be a triggering moment, a trauma moment that you see that makes you relive certain things, that makes you fall back into that addiction.
Yeah.
And that is okay.
Yeah.
You are human. Human experiences is that you make mistakes.
Yeah.
But what you do is you learn from that mistake
Yeah.
and you seek the help that you need. So please, if there's any addiction that anyone ever has, no matter what it is, seek help for it.
Episode 8, man. This Dana started off with just an idea, episode 8.
We did.
That's crazy. So look, I did have an idea though. If anybody watching, like, y'all can go to our Instagram page, and if y'all wanted to talk about certain topics, chime in under the Instagram page or DM or shoot us an email. I think the email is at the end of the video. But yeah, chime in, man, and keep watching, man. We support, like, we appreciate y'all. Everybody like hitting us up, telling us they like the show. Like, it means a lot, man. And shout out to my boy Sly, that's right there behind
Right,
You know
Sly.
what it is.
Yes.
And,
Next time,
till
man.
next
Oh
time.
no, excuse me. And I'll be waiting for my massage.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get you right together.
Get me together, please,
Cheer.
and thank you.
Till next time, episode 8.
Out
We out.
All right.
That boy was
How was
Gucci.
that one, Sly?
What was the time on it? I feel like we was cooking for a second.
Yo, I had to create more topics, so I hope.
No, man, that's
wasn't
Yeah.
that's what a nigga.